My name is Dudit, Saddle Builds and Stuff. Today's video is a Strand Titan build. It's an extension to a video that I've covered over the last couple of days, this semi-Optician Strand rocket launcher that pretty much gives infinite heavy ammo. What I wanted to do was buff the damage out, so Hazardous Propulsion, this is what this video is going to be, to buff this rocket launcher out. We're also going to be severing a lot of enemies with our Threadlings and getting some extra Strand debuff damage as well for our Strand rocket launcher on top of the Hazardous Propulsion damage. We're also going to be featuring some unraveling damage and obviously Perpetual destruction. So basically we're going to be stacking infinite heavy ammo with the Hazardous Propulsion and explosive light and extra damage to Strand debuff targets, whether that's severing or suspension or unraveling. And we're going to be getting woven mail on tap, heavy ammo, loads of extra damage, banner of war. Stay with me, I'll break the build down. The semi-Optician is where we'll start with. High impact frame, very nice rocket launcher. I love it this season. Strand. The perks I put on there was field prep, something I covered in a previous video. This gives you up to 13 with the right reserves. 13 in the mag is absolutely crazy. I'm pairing it up with explosive light, and every time you've got a stack of explosive light, it gives you a 25% damage increase. You can stack that up to 7 with the explosive light, so you can have 7 stacks of 25% damage. It's also got the origin trait on their head rush, which is pretty decent with field prep, because either way, you're going to get a reload buff. But just to start, again, something I've covered, so I'm not going to go too much into it, but you can pretty much get infinite heavy ammo with this, depending on what enemies you kill. Now, Perpetual destruction, rapid final blows with non-exotic rocket launchers, refund ammo and increase reload speed for a short duration. When you pair that up with gold from lead. Now, gold from lead, picking up special ammo, has a chance to grant heavy ammo. You get the odd stack, Warp +1 every now and again. On top of the Perpetual destruction, you get pretty much near enough infinite heavy ammo with this. You very rarely run out unless you're missing your shots or something like that, or you're not killing the correct enemies in groups. So basically how Perpetual destruction works, once again, is something I've covered, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. It works as like a stacking chance depending on how many enemies you kill, and if you kill tankier targets, that chance is increased. And whenever you kill a champion, it pretty much near enough guarantees you get 1 or 2 heavy ammo pretty much all of the time, really. I'd probably say like 80% of the time. And if you're killing like little groups of enemies, as if you're killing 3s and 4s or 5s at a time with a rocket launcher, you're going to get +2, +3, up to +4 back, which is very, very nice. So it works as like a little stacking chance. So I wanted to sort of damage proof it for end game activities. So Hazardous Propulsion is a very obvious choice. Weapon, precision hits or final blows have a chance to load a kinetic Exodus rocket. Activating your class ability, fires loaded Exodus rockets. Damaging targets with Exodus rocket temporarily increases the damage you deal with other rockets. It gives you a 35% damage increase on your rocket launchers, plus your explosive light 25%. So it really does buff the damage out on rocket launchers. 79k. And what you're going to see in this clip, I'll make sure I've got a stack of explosive light. I'm going to sever the target via my tangle, add a strand debuff, which we'll go into in a moment, a bit of extra damage, plus your Hazardous Propulsion, and then look at the damage increase. It's going to shoot up to an absolutely massive 164k. So basically what's going on is I'm also applying the boost strand weapon damage increased versus strand debuff targets. We're going to be debuffing loads in this video via sever, unravel and suspend. So basically we've got explosive light going on, 25%, 35% and an extra 5% versus debuffed targets. And the damage number, the very first shot that we saw was 79k, goes up to 164,000, which is a whopping 107% damage increase. So altogether, what we're going to have 2 strand weapon surges stacking together with your Hazardous Propulsion and the strand weapon boost all working together. That's the damage. So in the next part, we're going to be talking about severing. Your targets hit by your tangles are severed, and it also reduces your tangle cooldown. So there's just one way to apply that strand debuff from the Horde Shuttle buffed version. So you can see in this clip here, I'm going to throw my tangle. and that's going to sever that target, which also reduces his damage by up to 50% with the Disruptor Spike Seasonal Artifact perk. So it's pretty good. You're going to get an extra bit of strand debuff damage and reduced outgoing target damage by him. And then another way to apply Sever is via Threadlings on the Horde Shuttle boosted version. Again, Threadlings sever targets that day damage. So via your Threadling Grenade, you can also very easily apply Sever, which is again exactly the same. You're going to get a damage reduction and apply that strand debuff, which is just an all-round solid buff either way you look at it. And then you've also got to Shreds going on, dealing sustained damage to severed targets, which we will be doing. It's going to unravel them. Defeating that severed target will create hotspots for Woven Mail, and your unraveling projectiles deals increased damage. And then these deal even further damage increase to severed targets. We will be unraveling via unraveling orbs pretty much infinitely, and the other stuff going on the build. Throw your Threadling Grenade or suspend. Activate your Exodus rockets. That's basically the loop. It's just an all-round solid buff for damage and damage reduction on top of your Woven Mail that you're going to get from the Vile Weave. So basically, in this clip I don't have a lot of explosive light because I was just testing a lot of stuff out. But you can see I've got my Exodus rockets sort of procced fully. Again, you're going to see a bit more of it going on when I've got it working properly because I was still like sort of testing stuff. But you basically could down champions in a rocket or two, and your Exodus rockets as well from the chest piece will all do a little extra damage for you as well. You're going to get loads of extra damage from the unraveling debuffs and everything else you've seen. Now, aspects, I like to run Banner of War. This is going to keep you nice and healed, you and your teammates, we all know how it works. I also like to pair this up with Drenga's Lash for more debuffs, and you're going to create tangles all the time. Now, one of the other little things I just want to sort of focus on as well with Banner of War is this sort of build with the rocket launcher actually buffs your Banner of War, because once you've got your Banner of War going, you can use your rocket launcher with that heavy ammo that you're going to get all the time and all that extra damage. You just keep building that. Basically, your Banner of War, you'll see there. It's just a really easy way to keep your Banner of War going. So it actually sort of buffs Banner of War a little bit as well, amongst other weapons that you may be running, something like the Monarch or the Call or something like that. And again, a bit of extra damage for GMs, as well as free heavy ammo. Just buffing this little rocket launcher out with this build feels absolutely insane. It's like in the last video I sort of covered more on the heavy ammo gains and things like that. In this video I sort of wanted to buff out the damage for endgame activities. And you're just getting that extra damage via everything you've seen. Your Hazardous Propulsion, Explosive Light. And the Banner of War thing is very, very nice for situations like this where you've got a load of ads closing in on you. You want to keep your teammates healed. You can literally just spam your rockets. If you just look on that bottom left there, how much heavy ammo I get back from this, it's absolutely nuts. I don't think I run out. I was just literally running around building my Banner of War, spamming my rockets left, right and centre. So if you're looking for a rocket launcher build that covers you for pretty much infinite heavy ammo and a bit of extra damage, a load of strand debuffs going on top of that, like severing, you've got your Woven Mail, so you've got loads of survivability. If that's the type of build you're looking for, you've just found it. Very, very solid build all round. Get your Banner of War, healing going. You've got a bit of extra boss damage or champion or major damage when needed. And you can also use the damage for tanky groups of enemies, like the ones that are going to spawn on this left here. Get them suspended, get your rocket launcher in there, and you just get free heavy ammo back. I'm going to quickly go over my fragments, mods, etc. Banner of War, Drenga's Lash, which we've covered. Both work perfectly together on this build. We're going to be pairing it up with Threadling Grenade for the severing, but you can also run Grapple or Shackle if you wish. Thread of Continuity, Suspend, Unravel and Sever effects have an increased duration. We're taking advantage of all three debuffs, that's a no-brainer. Thread of Isolation, landed rapid precision hits, emits a severing burst, again a no-brainer. Severing is excellent this season. Thread of Generation, dealing damage, generates grenade energy. Any type of damage will build that grenade energy up, so all your unraveling rounds will contribute and everything else. And then Thread of Wisdom, defeating suspended target, creates an orb of power. That's just an easy way to get an extra orb for your Explosive Light or Surges. I will leave my mods a little clip like so, because if I talked around all my mods, it'd take me about another 3 minutes, and the video ended up being 15 minutes long. And there's my customization, a bit of a space punk alien, if you like. But that pretty much wraps up the video. I'll leave a dim link. I'll also be leaving a Mobalytics link when I upload it to that, so stay tuned for that. That's pretty much the video. Yep, extra damage, great for champs, great for little groups of tanky enemies like so. I hope you found it helpful. Have a great day.